You know that exact feeling, right? Like when you wake up, you grab your phone off the nightstand and you just open up your main social feed.
Oh, yeah, that immediate dread.
Exactly. There is this tiny, almost subconscious brace for impact. Because instead of seeing what your friends are up to or reading about that one niche topic you actually care about, you're just immediately hit with a wall of sheer garbage.
Just a total barrage.
It really is. It's a barrage of topics you never asked for, wildly loud opinions from people you don't even follow, and this relentless stream of rage bait. It just leaves you feeling completely exhausted before you've even had your coffee.
Yeah, and we all just kind of accept it as normal now.
Right. But welcome to today's deep dive. We are thrilled you're here with us because today our mission is to figure out why our online lives feel so deeply frustrating right now.
And it is so frustrating.
It really is. We're unpacking some fascinating notes and concepts today from a piece called The Zero Cost Problem: Why Digital Conviction Matters Most. And honestly, reading through this material triggered a real-time realization for us.
A pretty massive one, actually.
Yeah, basically that the internet isn't just annoying right now. It is fundamentally broken by design.
That feeling of exhaustion you're describing, it's the perfect starting point.
Right.
Because, I mean, it is not an accident. That is the system functioning flawlessly according to its own internal logic.
Which is terrifying.
It is.
Yeah.
We tend to blame ourselves for the bad experience.
Yeah.
We think, oh, we must have clicked on the wrong thing, or maybe we're following the wrong people, so the algorithm is just confused.
Right, like it's a user error.
Exactly. But the concepts we're exploring today completely flip that narrative. To understand why your feed feels so completely detached from what you actually want to see, we have to dismantle the massive lie we've all been sold about our own digital relationships.
Okay, let's unpack this, because there is a concept here that completely changed how I view my own profile. Let's start with the most immediate, tangible frustration on the feed itself.
Right, the algorithm running the show.
Yeah, it doesn't care about what is true. It doesn't care about what is high quality. It doesn't even care about what you explicitly typed into a search bar and asked for.
Not at all.
It optimizes for one single metric, which is stickiness. It's basically a machine designed to figure out what keeps your thumb hovering over the screen for just one more second.
Sticky is the key word there.
Yeah.
And mechanically, that usually translates to whatever triggers an immediate neurological spike. Anger, outrage, or just sheer bizarre spectacle.
Anything to stop the scroll.
Right. That's what keeps the eyeballs glued to the screen. But the mechanism that makes this so insidious and why your feed feels so cluttered is how platforms handle your past choices. I mean, think about your follower count or the list of people you currently follow.
This is the part that blew my mind. Your follower list is described in the source as a fossil record.
A fossil record, yes.
Just think about your own account. You might have followed like 400 people over the last 6 years. You followed a coworker from 2 jobs ago, a comedian who was funny in 2019, someone who posted good recipes during the lockdown.
Right, it's a totally random assortment of people.
Exactly. But how many of those 400 people still make things you actually care about today? Maybe 15.
Honestly, 15 is probably a generous estimate. But here's the mechanical failure of the algorithm. The database doesn't know that your interests have shifted, and more importantly, it doesn't care to differentiate.
It's all the same to the machine.
Totally. In the back end, a follow is just a static Boolean value. It's either true or false. The system treats a follow from way back in 2019 with the exact same mathematical weight as a follow from yesterday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't degrade over time. It doesn't check to see if you are still interested in sourdough starters.
To put an analogy on it, it's like walking into a hoarder's house.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right. Imagine if every piece of junk mail you've ever received, every single magazine subscription you signed up for in a waiting room a decade ago, was somehow treated as your current urgent reading list.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It is. And the mail carrier just keeps backing up a dump truck and unloading it into your living room every single morning. You would be suffocating under the weight of your past interests.
You really would.
Our social graph is basically just a museum of past interests masquerading as a map of our current attention.
That visualization captures the chaos perfectly. And what's crucial to understand is that this dynamic is just as broken on the creator side, too. The metrics are trivially inflated.
Oh, completely.
A creator might boast 100,000 followers on their profile, but when they post a piece of content, they only get, like, 200 likes.
Which makes no sense.
Right. Mathematically, their actual reach is functionally zero. It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
Yet, the platforms continue to display that massive 100,000 number at the top of the page like it's some sort of ironclad credential.
Yeah, reputation has just been flattened into this entirely one-dimensional number, just a single number. Followers, karma, likes, it is completely hollow.
Because all those numbers measure is how much attention something managed to grab in a fraction of a split second. They don't measure if the attention was deserved.
Right.
They don't measure if the content was quality or if it actually changed anyone's mind or provided value. It's just a raw, uncalibrated metric of distraction.
So we are trapped in this hoarder's house of a feed, surrounded by ghost town metrics and algorithms optimizing for outrage. But why is there so much junk to sort through in the first place?
That is the big question.
Like, why does the mail carrier have so much trash to dump in the living room? This brings us to the root of the rot, and it all comes down to the economics of free. The doors to these digital platforms are left completely wide open.
What's fascinating here is that this is where the mechanical failure of the internet becomes glaringly obvious. When participation costs absolutely nothing, the system inevitably gets flooded.
It's basically a given.
It is a basic law of digital physics.
Yeah.
Because it's free to create an account, make a post, or click a like button, the barrier to entry is zero.
Which brings us to the bot economy.
The bot economy thrives entirely on that zero cost. Because an HTTP request costs nothing, you can write a simple Python script to automate posting across hundreds or even thousands of fake accounts.
Just pumping out garbage.
Exactly. You can buy 10,000 likes for just a few dollars. There's a specific vulnerability here known as a Sybil attack.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's when one single entity, like one person in a basement with a laptop, puts on thousands of different digital masks to simulate a massive crowd.
Wow.
They can artificially engineer a trending topic or manipulate a public conversation purely because creating a digital identity requires $0 and zero human effort.
But wait, I have to push back on this a little bit
Sure.
because I spend half my life clicking on crosswalks and traffic lights in those CAPI-TCAA boxes, right?
Right.
Or I get prompted to verify my phone number when I log in from a new browser. Don't those mechanisms stop the bots? Aren't the platforms using machine learning to catch this stuff?
It definitely feels like that should work, but those security measures are just weak patches bolted onto a fundamentally broken foundation.
Really?
Yeah. The foundation of the internet says anyone can do anything for free. The patches say, well, anyone except bots, hopefully, if our software can detect them. But it's an arms race.
And we're losing.
It's an arms race. The platforms are structurally destined to lose because machine learning is now incredibly good at solving CAPI-TCHAs and bypassing basic friction.
Oh, right. The AI can just solve the puzzles now.
Exactly. The core argument we are digging into today highlights a fascinating alternative reality. If the system required even a tiny, undeniable proof of commitment to participate, the economics of fake engagement would collapse overnight.
Because of the multiplier effect, right?
Exactly. It's not that the people running bot farms can't afford to pay a microscopic amount of friction for one account. It's that automating that friction at a massive scale across 10 million bots would suddenly become ruinously expensive.
Ah, that makes sense.
The spammer's entire business model relies on the fact that multiplying their effort by a million costs them nothing. Introduce a genuine cost. The bot economy bankrupts itself.
That makes total sense, but it leads me to another question about friction. What about our passwords?
Okay, yeah.
What about secure logins and two-factor authentication? I mean, I am typing in 6-digit codes from an authenticator app constantly. That's a deliberate act. Doesn't that prove I am a real person and protect me from all this chaos?
We've definitely been trained to view those specific friction points as a blanket of safety. We think a complex password keeps us secure. But the reality of how these systems are architected points to the exact opposite conclusion.
Wait, really?
Yeah, those security measures aren't actually protecting you as an individual. They are setting the entire ecosystem up for a catastrophic systemic failure.
Oh, this dives right into the credential trap. And honestly, reading the mechanics of this made me want to go completely off the grid.
I know the feeling.
Because the whole model of the internet right now is based on proving who you are by telling a system a secret. Your password is a secret. That 2FA code is a secret. You whisper the secret to the server, and the server lets you in.
And where do those secrets live once you whisper them?
In massive, centralized databases.
Which are essentially digital powder kegs. Because what is the inevitable fate of a centralized database full of valuable secrets?
It gets breached.
It gets breached. It is not a hypothetical scenario. It is a statistical certainty. Let's walk through the mechanics of how terrifying this actually is. You give a platform your password. It sits in a massive silo alongside 50 million other passwords.
Just waiting there.
Right. A hacker doesn't target you specifically. They target the silo. They find one vulnerability in the server architecture, and they download the entire database.
And because human nature is what it is, we all reuse our passwords, or at least variations of the same password.
That is the cascading failure. Once they have that one secret from a minor app you signed up for 3 years ago, they run automated scripts to test that same email and password combination against your bank account, your primary email, your social media.
It's all gone at once.
One breach compromises your entire digital life simultaneously. The platform itself created this massive systemic attack surface by demanding you hand over a fragile secret in the first place. The entire model of proving who you are by telling us a secret is deeply inherently flawed.
So what does this all mean when we zoom out? Let's synthesize this trap we're in. We, the users, take on all the systemic security risks by handing over our fragile personal data to these massive databases.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we're doing all the free labor. We are the ones writing the thoughtful threads, posting the photos, building the community, and generating all the engagement data. We assume all the risk and do all the work. And what does the platform actually do?
The platform sits in the middle and acts as a toll booth. They own the distribution channel. They own the social graph that you build with your labor.
Meaning the user isn't the customer, the user is the product. It's an extraction machine.
Perfectly stated.
The platform just sits there, hoards the data, skims all the profit, and sells our attention to advertisers. They extract all the value from the work and the risk we put in. Whether it's an ad-funded social network or a growth hacking referral program, they all have this extraction mechanism built right into their core architecture.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is crucial to realize that this isn't some grand, shadowy conspiracy. There's no cabal of executives sitting in a smoke-filled room laughing at how they tricked us.
No, it's just business.
It is just basic, cold economics playing out to its logical conclusion. When a platform's algorithm is funded by advertisers, the platform's biological imperative is to harvest your eyeballs for as long as humanly possible.
They have to.
They must extract that value to survive the quarter and please their shareholders. If user participation is free, the only way the system sustains its server costs and profit margins is by strip mining the attention of the people using it.
It is exhausting just thinking about the sheer scale of the extractions.
That really is.
So if the free model is this data mining, bot-infested nightmare where our attention is strip mined for ad revenue, the natural instinct is to look for an exit strategy. And the most common exit strategy proposed lately is, well, what if we just pay?
The obvious pivot.
Right. What happens when platforms try to solve this massive quality problem by charging money for access or visibility?
That brings us straight into the plutocracy problem.
Yeah.
Because simply throwing currency at the issue doesn't fix the underlying mechanical failure. It just introduces a different kind of rot.
Here's where it gets really interesting to think about. We've seen this play out in real time over the last couple of years, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Platforms introduce a monthly fee for a verification badge. They allow you to pay to get premium features that artificially push your content higher up in the algorithmic feed. You can literally pay to boost your reach.
Yeah?
Even in models like crowdfunding, the system inherently rewards the biggest financial donors with the most access, the biggest perks, and the loudest megaphones.
The consistent pattern across all these financialized attempts at quality control is incredibly clear. More money simply equals more influence. Capital substitutes for quality.
It just becomes pay to play.
Exactly. If you can open your wallet wide enough, you can buy visibility regardless of whether the content you are pushing is valuable, true, or helpful to the community. You aren't paying for better tools to communicate. You are paying to forcefully insert your voice into someone else's feed.
A predictably loud voice with a massive wallet completely drowns out a nuanced, thoughtful voice with a small one.
And the tragic irony of this entire shift is that the internet was originally pitched to the world as this great, leveling, democratizing force.
That was the whole dream.
Right. It was supposed to flatten the old hierarchies so that the best ideas naturally rose to the top, not just the ideas backed by the most funding. But by trying to solve the zero-cost problem with simple financial transactions, the internet just replicated the exact same offline power dynamics it was supposed to replace.
So the hierarchy didn't go away?
Not at all.
Which makes total sense when you look at the physical world equivalents. Because if you look at the paid reach model, We basically traded a physical reality where rich corporations bought giant billboards on the side of the highway to shout at us for a digital reality where rich individuals and corporations just buy the algorithm. They're just buying digital billboards. Nothing fundamentally changed about how information flows. The hierarchy just put on a new uniform.
The uniform changed, but the power structure remains identical. So we're left staring at this massive structural dilemma.
The ultimate trap.
Yeah. If free brings us a flood of bots, civil attacks, manipulation, and relentless data extraction, and paid brings us a plutocracy of loud wallets and algorithmic billboards, what is the actual alternative? How do we build a system that isn't terrible?
It feels like an impossible trap. Like we're stuck choosing between living in a noisy, polluted garbage dump or moving into a gated community where only the ultra-wealthy get to speak.
It definitely feels that way when you look at the current landscape. But the concepts we're diving into suggest that we feel trapped only because we've been optimizing for the wrong metric entirely.
Okay.
Both the free model and the paid model are still fundamentally trying to answer the same flawed, foundational question.
The question nobody's asking. This specific part of the material, it honestly shifted my whole perspective. It moved me from just being frustrated with my morning feed to feeling this deep, genuine curiosity about what else is mechanically possible.
That's a huge shift.
Because we built the entire modern internet by asking one single question: what got the most clicks?
And that single question built the reality we live in today. A reality that is noisy, extractive, gameable, and incredibly shallow.
But the new question, the paradigm shift that is proposed here is, what did people actually choose to commit to?
Commit.
Yeah.
Not click. Not passively double tap as they scroll by on the toilet. Not algorithmically sort based on watch time. Commit.
Yes. And we need to be really clear about what commitment means mechanically in this context. It means putting something irreversible on the line to say, this matters.
Exactly.
It's about creating a permanent, verifiable proof of conviction. It is not about handing cash to a mega corporation to buy algorithmic reach. It's about demonstrating a true personal stake in the quality of what you are supporting.
This raises an important question. Let's explore the mechanics of how that verifiable conviction would actually function. Imagine a system where every single expression of support, every signal of quality, required a deliberate act that carried a tangible weight.
Okay.
You have a finite amount of reputation or digital standing. If you endorse something, you are permanently attaching a piece of your own credibility to that content. You can't undo it.
It's locked in.
Right. You can't casually distribute that endorsement 1,000 times a day without depleting your own standing.
So if you endorse garbage, it genuinely costs you your own digital weight. So you naturally begin to hoard your endorsements for things that actually matter.
This raises a profound question about the nature of our digital spaces. If participation relied entirely on this kind of verifiable conviction, without the value being extracted by shareholders or ad buyers, would the same content dominate?
I mean, think about the downstream effects of that. If you couldn't just casually swipe and if you couldn't deploy a server farm to spam tens of thousands of automated interactions.
Everything changes.
Yeah. If every action required an irreversible, verifiable stake, what would actually rise to the surface of our feed?
It certainly wouldn't be the low-effort rage bait. It wouldn't be the algorithmic junk mail designed to trigger a fleeting emotional response.
You would be so quiet, but like a good, quiet, peaceful, deeply intentional.
I can actually imagine that.
Imagine opening your phone to a digital space where you couldn't just throw garbage into the hoarder's house because the door to the feed only opens for things that people genuinely, deeply value enough to stake their own standing on.
It's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a fossil record of past interests. It would be a living, breathing reflection of what collective human judgment actually cares about right now.
It completely reframes our relationship with the screen. Instead of constantly defending ourselves against an algorithm designed to extract our attention, we would be participating in an environment where our conviction actually builds the value of the space itself. It's a complete paradigm shift from an architecture of extraction to an architecture of contribution.
It really is. And it leaves us with this incredible lingering thought. Because as you read through these mechanics, you start to talk yourself into wanting this completely different paradigm to exist.
You start craving that intentional, quiet space.
You do. So the original material poses a question, and we want to pose that same question directly to you listening right now. If someone were building this, not theoretically, not as a white paper, but as a living, breathing system, would you want to be one of the first people to use it?
It's a powerful concept to just sit with and imagine.
It really is. I want you to think about that hoarder's house of a feed we talked about earlier. Look at your phone today, look at all the noise, the automated bots, the algorithmic junk mail cluttering your screen.
All the clutter.
Ask yourself, if showing support for a post suddenly required true, verifiable conviction instead of just a lazy double tap, how much of your current digital life would instantly disappear? And in that quiet, clean space that is left behind, what would be the very first thing you'd actually deem worthy of your commitment? Take that thought with you today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.